Yes.
I'm
We're
just
just
going to also say hi because I
hi.
haven't met you before, but my name's Melanie. I'm a friend of Alana's, I'm with my little one, so it's noisy, so I'm going to be in and out, but I'm here also.
Of course, and you're welcome to mute and stay on camera or off, whatever you like. If you want to
Thank,
ask a question, you can always unmute. That's fine.
thank you so much. Thank you.
It's a pleasure, and thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. So yesterday we were talking about how you either have trust in Hashem or you're trusting in somebody else. There's no gap in between those two. So at any moment, and in fact, it's funny. I went to a shiva this morning, and the husband of the lady who died, who was literally my age, from 1 minute to the next, she just dropped dead last week. I have no idea. Like, nobody understands how that happened. It's really sad. Give me 1 second. I'm just switching off my alarm. Bear with me. Sorry. I think I better do this now, otherwise it won't happen. Okay. Do not disturb. He says that if you have emunah, you have no problem. And if you don't have emunah, you're worried all the time. He said that to me. And his wife had literally just, from 1 second to the next, disappeared. Like, he's still got, he's young. He's the same age as me. We've got married kids. Our kids got married the same age this June. I'm just still in shock from that. And his comment to me was literally that, what we're learning now, that with bitachon, he said to me, when you have bitachon, when you don't have bitachon, you have no answers. When you have bitachon, you have no question. I was like, wow, just to hear that was worth coming to the shiva from somebody who's literally in that space. To be able to say that shows me what's inside us and what bitachon we have to be channeling right now. We either believe or we don't believe. We have emunah shlema or not at all. There's no 96% emunah, no 97, 98. We say ani mamin bemunah shlema, with complete faith. There's no other mitzvah that I understand in the Torah. I might be wrong. You can correct me if so. That we're asked to do shalema, that we have to do it properly. We have to do it fully. Shalema means complete faith. Even a gap in the faith, then we'll have questions. And with no gap in the faith, we will be without anxiety, without stress. We know that we're being taken care of, that there is a plan, that it's all going to work out, that we don't understand it because we're too limited. So it's either one or the other. We're either believing in Hashem or we're exchanging our glory, like it says in the Tehillim, for the likeness of a grass-eating ox, that golden calf. So we come to the next pasuk of Amar HaKosuf, Baruch HaGever Asher Yiftach b'Hashem, V'haya Hashem Mevtacho. Blessed is the man, means women as well, obviously, who trust in Hashem, and Hashem is his support. This verse assures us that if we have trust in Hashem, we will be protected by him. But it also implies that if we lack trust, the support isn't there. Because trusting is the support. Trusting allows the support to flow through. The support is always there, but if we don't trust, that's a block. But Omar, and it says further in Tehillim, Ashrei HaGever Asher Sam Hashem Mivtacho, V'lo Pana El Rahavim V'shatei Chazov. It says in Psalms, fortunate is the man who made the Lord his support and did not turn to the haughty and those who turn to falsehood. This verse praises the person who relies on God rather than turning to others. So when it says the haughty, you can imagine we're relying on government ministers and heads of state to come out and support Israel and be with us at this time. Very nice, but we don't rely on them. That's not where our bitachon is. Our bitachon is in Hashem. In this verse, we also see that there's a straightforward choice. Really easy. We either rely on Hashem or on another entity. There's no middle ground. But Omar, and it says further, Arur HaGever Asher Yiftach b'Adam. Cursed is the man who relies on man, the son basar zero'o, and makes the flesh his arm, Omin Hashem yasur libo, and whose heart turns away from Hashem. This verse teaches us that bad things befall a person who relies on other people rather than on God, supporting the author's original statement that God actually removes his Shekhinah from those who don't trust in him, because there's no resting place for it. Shekhinah means allowing to rest, allowing it to present this Shekhinah, being present, coming back to the neshama within. So I'll just do the quick commentary on that and we'll do the bottom line, and then if we've got time, we'll go to the next one. Relies on his wisdom. On the verse, if you eat the toil of your hands, in Tehillim it says, what's that? I think it's in Shir HaMalas. Asher HaGever. who eats the tool of your hand. I can't remember in the Hebrew. The Alter Rebbe, Reb Shneur Zalman of Liadi, explains the verse does not say the tool of your head, because we must work for a livelihood solely with physical abilities, the hand. The internal faculty of the mind, the head, on the other hand, is supposed to be utilized for the study of Torah, Likutei Torah. So that's a piece of wisdom that's not necessarily a functionable thing of Western society. A lot of people do work with their mind and make money off of that. But in the Torah wisdom, the accepted wisdom of the Torah, Torah is for its own sake, and learning here is concerned with Torah or learning. And a profession that's working with the hands is supposed to be the healthy way to earn a living, the right way to earn a living. If he relies on his wisdom, his physical strength, and his own effort, although we must not rely on our wisdom and efforts to achieve our goals or earn a living, we can and should utilize our strengths and abilities because they are the vehicle that God gave us to achieve success. We must simply be aware that blessings and success ultimately come from God, and that it is God who ordains blessings through the channel of human efforts. The Chachamim explain that we are biblically mandated to work, expounding on the verse, and God will bless you in all that you do. The free state, that was in Devarim, so free states, the person might think that he could sit idle and do nothing. Therefore, the pasuk teaches us in all that you do. In fact, in chapter 4 of Shar HaBitachon, the author writes with a clear conviction that his affairs are given over to the decrees of the Creator, may he be exalted. He must at the same time pursue means beneficial to him and choose what appears to him to be the best course of action in the matter. So what Shar HaBitachon, what Rabbi Achia ben Ibn Pekuda is saying, that yes, we must trust in Hashem, and at the same time we've got to go out and earn a living. And the Chachamim say that the preferable way to earn a living is by doing something physical with your hands, with your body, going out and doing something rather than just being in your mind the whole time. That's what it seems to be saying here. So the bottom line is your wisdom, ingenuity, and physical strength on their own are inadequate to achieve your goals. I'm going to stop here in case anybody has any questions or anything to discuss. And if not, I'll carry on. So misguided trust. Until now, the author has been explaining in general terms that when a person relies on anything other than God, he's doomed to fail. Now the author brings specific examples of things that people tend to place their trust in and how they do not provide security. So, if a person relies on his wisdom and his scheming, b'koach gufo and his physical strength, v'ishtadluso and his own efforts, yigale rik, those efforts will be for nothing. But yechlash kocho, his strength might be weakened. The tiktzar tachblaso, and he'll lose his physical strength. He'll get tired. His schemes and wisdom will fall short of accomplishing his goals. The tiktzar tachblaso mehasik chavtzo, kamoshanem hakosov, like it says in Eov, lochet chachamim ba'ormam. Hashem traps clever people in their shrewdness. When people overthink things and get so caught up in their own scheming and plans, you can trip yourself up. So this pasuk is cited as proof that man cannot rely on his own plans, however shrewd they may be. And Koheles, Ba'amar, it says in Koheles, Shavti v'ra'o tachas hashemesh. Koheles says, I further saw under the sun, ki lo lakalem hameirutz, that the race is not to the swift, v'lo lagiborim hamilchama, and nor the war is to the mighty, v'lo lachachamim lechem, and not to the wise is the bread, as in the money, the fortune. It would be expected that those who are physically strong will win a war. This verse shows that physical strength and intelligence cannot be relied on for success. But Omer, and it says in Tehillim, Kafirim Rashu v'ra'ivu, young lions can be hungry and go wanting. But Doroshe Hashem lo yachzru chotov, but those who seek the Lord will not lack for good. The young lions in the verse refers to strong people who rely on their strength. The verse teaches that they are destined to be poor and hungry. On the other hand, those who seek God, meaning those who rely on God, will not lack any goodness. From the above verses, we see that a person cannot rely on his own talents for his success. Only a person who relies on God is guaranteed to be taken care of. He traps clever people in their shrewdness. Instead of producing the desired positive result, God orchestrates that the very same plan itself is the cause of the failure. The Malbim on this verse uses the example of Yosef's brothers, who plotted to sell their brother into slavery, and yet their very plan caused Yosef to become second minister to the king, the exact opposite of their intention. So the bottom line here, utilize your abilities and strengths because it is your God-given vehicle for success. So yeah, I'm going to stop there for a minute and just see if anybody else wants to offer anything around that topic.
Well, can I just, I've been thinking a lot about it since we discussed it yesterday. This, if you when you rely on Hashem, you rely solely on Hashem, and the second you start relying on other sources, then the question is, where does your, you have to have hishtadlut. You can't rely on miracles. So how do we know which actions to take? Because, for example, I'll give you an example, the signing petitions to pressure world leaders to do something about the hostages. Are we supposed to just say, well, you know what? No, we trust Hashem. This is in Hashem's hands, and the world leaders can't help us, which is true. So should we just sit back and, how do we know when we're supposed to take certain actions? When we are supposed to fight, and when we are supposed to rely on our own devices, the ones that Hashem has given us, our voices and our, not just to daven, but to do other things.
Yeah. And I think you just voicing that question, that is the question, isn't it? We all have to ask ourselves that question. And we do all the time. This is the practice of Emunah. This is it. It's asking that question. When have I done enough? When do I put my hands down and say, okay, I've done this, leave it to you, Hashem, I'm surrendering. I think my answer to that is a Jew has to always be b'simcha, always. Even when, even when there's hard times and there's a sword to our throats, we have to say, Hashem, we trust in you, it's all good. And at the same time, we have to do our hishtadlus. We came here as human beings in the physical world to uplift the physical and to do the steps and to pack for the soldiers and to send money to the causes and to help our brothers who are in need and to take old ladies for a walk who are alone and feeling afraid. Any of those things, yes. But when you get to a point where you're feeling like I'm doing it out of panic and desperation and I'm not b'simcha with myself, maybe then it's time to stop and say, why am I doing this? Am I doing it because I'm doing a mitzvah and to help the klal and to help myself? Or am I doing it because I don't actually trust in Hashem and I'm trying to control everything and I'm signing all the petitions and I can't stop scrolling? I think you have to trust that Hashem expects from you what makes you happy and makes you feel right inside. And that's going to be different for you and for me and for my neighbor. Each person has got their own plimsoll line where they're like, I went to a rally yesterday and it was a lot. I'm not a rally person. It makes me very nervous. It sends me into a place where I'm just like not comfortable physically or mentally or any of the things. And I came home and I had to just go lie down. And I have someone staying here who I said to him, do you want to come to the rally with me? And he goes, no, I've already been to one. I can't go to that. I've done my bit. And I respect that because I think you need to know where you are. Not everybody can go to all the rallies. Not anybody can go to a hospital. Some people find it very traumatic to visit people in hospital. Some people find it very hard to cook. And other people will be very in their happiness cooking. That's their gift. So use the gift that makes you happy to help. And then when you need to rest, that's Hashem telling you to rest as well. You don't need to do all the things because it's not about the things that you do, it's about the place that you're coming from. If you can say it genuinely, I'm doing this b'simcha with so much joy. I'm so privileged that in this time of challenge, I can be a light. I can be a help, I can be a soothing to myself and to others. That's a beautiful place. And that is an offering like the offering of Hevel. Hevel goes straight up to Hashem. But the one that's coming from, I have to control everything and sign every petition because if I don't, then Hashem won't save us. That's not from a place of emunah. That's from a place of overthinking. So we have to surrender and just know that Hashem sees us. Hashem sees you as you are. He sees me in all our frailness and all our flaws. And he gave us our chisronot as well. They're ours. They're for a reason. There's a bracha that we say so many times a day, like we say it on a snack. So it's like as if Hashem made sure we say it a lot in the day. And every time we have a snack, we say Borei Nefashos. And if you think about the words of Borei Nefashos, we're not actually thanking Hashem for food in it at all. We're not thanking Hashem for a snack or for our bodies. And it says, Borin Afoshas Rabos, who creates many souls, but Chesronan and their needs. And Chesronan can also mean their flaws. You know, we have Chesronos, we have things that we're not very good at. And he created us as we are with those things. And that was the reason he created us, because in seeing to ourselves and helping us overcome those little flaws, or even attending to them, that's why we're here. So we must never look at other people and say, oh, she's doing all those things and I can't. No, that's hers. That's okay. Let her do those things. That's what she's brilliant at. Give her encouragement. Thank God you're doing that, because I couldn't. And it's okay. You do something else. You know, that's my wisdom on it.
Yeah.
Other people will have other things to tell you, but that's how I feel. You know.
I think it's my own question regarding, you know, I mean, like the atmosphere in London, and how we react to that. You know, our salvation and our protection is from Hashem exclusively, and it's just this constant question of how do I exclusively rely on Hashem? You know, when do I stop thinking about the external sources that threaten us? So yeah, I think it's just it's current, because I mean it's what's around us at the moment. It's not really a question of am I doing enough to help the soldiers in Israel, to help the fighting, you know, to on all fronts.
None of us can ever do enough. None of us can. As much as we can do as human beings, it's never going to be enough. And there are very real and dark forces mounted against us in this moment in time, and it is very scary. And we have to admit that to ourselves and see it. And at the same time, realize that the person who's pulling the strings at the top, the puppet master, is Hashem. And so, yes, he wants to see us stepping forward with courage, because that's what we're being called to do, but also knowing that whatever we step forward to do is not causing the thing to go away, it's creating a malach. And the actual real battle is taking place in Shamayim, not here. And that what we're doing is enough, because we're doing it with our pure heart. Even if it's a small thing, Shem sees it. So to know that when we shout out and we say we stand up for Israel, even if it's in public, it's not about the non-Jews hearing us. It's about ourselves hearing us. It's about Hashem hearing us. It's about us having a voice, using our voice for the good. And those forces of darkness, it's almost like they're an illusion. They were really just there to call us forward. I remember hearing the most beautiful Dvar Torah on the malach of Yaakov, when he grappled with, do you remember on the way a malach came to meet him? And it was the malach of Esav, and they fought the whole night until dawn. And he held him
before he changed his name.
Where he got his name Yisrael. That's where our nation was born, in that moment, in that fight, in that struggle. And the angels screamed at him and said, let me go, I need to go back to heaven. And Yaakov said, no, I'm not going to let you go until you give me a bracha, or something like that. But he really wanted to go back to heaven. Rashi said, why do you want to go back to heaven? To sing Shira. And the question is asked, why would a bad malach sing Shira? What's his Shira? Why would, we would expect a malach like that to go to hell. Like, what are you singing Shira? Why would Hashem be pleased with you? So the point is that these malachim come down, the dark forces. They're also by Hashem. It's to call us forward. It's to cause us to step forward into our own courage to fight them, because that's where our growth is. That's where our heroism is. That's where we can shine a light, even if it's by putting on a smile when it's hard for us to do that, and keep that cloud away from our children. When we step forward in that way, we create exactly why the Satan came. That's why they're here. So it's irrelevant whether they hear us or not. We have to hear ourselves. And I think that's what causes our nation to survive, to win, to prevail. And Hashem sees us doing that now. Each one of you, each one of us. This.
Okay, thank you.
I'm going to leave it there. Really, I needed this more than any of you know today. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Shulamit.
Week
always.
Morning. Thank you for being here. See you again tomorrow.
Thanks, Shulamit. Have a nice day.
You too. Bye, darling.
Bye.